Yeah, hey now, PASW staff, clients, and friends joining us. Welcome to Wednesday's class. We're halfway through the week, and so far, so good. We looked at Marni Nixon, the very infamous or not famous singer who dubbed all of those wonderful actresses who thought they could sing. No, that's a mean way of putting it, but yeah, she was definitely the go-to woman to sing all of those songs. So that was interesting. Marni Nixon, an unsung hero or sung hero. And then we looked at your film scoring assignment, Back to the Future, which is looking good so far. So we'll see the results for Friday. Just, I like to do a little recap. We're going to tango it up a little bit today. I have my tango shirt on, whatever that means. But, it's we're going to get a little, we're going to try not to dance too much during this class because it's going to be very cool to talk about somebody who invented kind of a new tango style, somebody who's Italian but grew up in Argentina. And let's get real sexy with Astor Piazzolla. Piazzolla is born in 1921, and he's a composer, but also a brilliant accordion bandoneon. Bandoneon is a kind of accordion with a different sound. They don't have register switches, but the timbre of the instruments constantly changing, so you have more control over what kind of sound and color and timbre you get out of it. So bandoneon. I might say accordion throughout the class, but just because it's a little bit easier. But and a brilliant composer and arranger, and he revolutionized the tango. I mean, tango's been going on for a long time, but he's revolutionizing it in the middle of the 20th century. We're gonna get real groovy and talk about his life and just really have fun listening to some of his beautiful tango music that he developed. That I don't know. I know I say the word elevated a lot, but it's good because we think, we live life like this, and we're always trying to go to the next step. And we look at people that go to the next step just to better ourselves, better our emotional psyche, just try to learn more every day. We grow more every day. So I do say elevated in a way that's denotes, higher thinking in a way of adjusting and going to the next level, because we all want to grow. So that's why I guess I mean that. So he took kind of this tango form that was great, but he I'm going to say it again, elevated it by incorporating elements of jazz and classical music. So his early life, I mean, when he's 8 years old, his father brought him his first bandoneon. And he had a very famous teacher, or very important teacher, and he taught him how to play a lot of Bach music. Now, we know about Bach, see how much we're learning. In fact, I was going to do this class before Bach, and I was like, we have to talk about Bach and counterpoint, because we're going to, some of Piazzolla's influence, a lot of it came from Bach, and him learning Bach on the accordion at a very young age. So he masters kind of this classical music on this tango-ish instrument. And what does he do? He goes to study with the most famous teacher in the 20th century that we've looked at. Who? Nadia Boulanger. And he studies composition with her. Now, at first, he had played so much tango music in Argentina and also Greenwich Village, because they moved back and forth. And he was kind of tired of it. And I think he wanted to go beyond what tango music could be. And so he tried to hide some of that when he started taking lessons with Boulanger. And because he thought, well, maybe my destiny lies in classical music. And Piazzolla played some of his classical compositions for her, and it wasn't until he played this certain tango for her that she said, wait, there's your voice. That's your career. And and go with that. And because of that, she saw his strength. See, that was such a brilliant way of her finding. And we talked about how she was really great at finding everybody's strength, and sometimes even saying, there's nothing for me to teach you, so just go your own way. Or, yes, I can work with you here. She really saw everybody's individual talent, but he was able to combine his musical passions of classical and tango music, despite criticism from a lot of other tango players, accordion, bandoneon players that were like, no, okay, you're going to try to make it serious? Okay, fine, we play real tango. But he's trying to go and say, I'm going to use classical elements that Boulanger taught me. I'm going to use jazz. I'm going to make it just my own. And they call it nuevo tango, new tango. And that's what he's responsible for kind of creating with these elements of jazz and classical. Jazz harmonies and also classical elements. And what do I mean by classical elements? Well, one in particular is counterpoint. And we looked at counterpoint with two or more individual independent lines going on at the same time. And Bach was the inventor of that. And he did this in this piece right here. It's such fun music. It's really delightful, but it's also, when you're listening to it, it's highly complex music. I think he liked improvisation, but all of these were his arrangements, and he really did most of his work that he was most proud of with his quintet that he developed. And so this is going on in the 60s up until he died. So with his new style of playing and his quintet, he did arrangements, and he also wrote more than 45 film scores and released even more albums, and became one of the most prolific musicians and composers of the 20th century in jazz and tango music. I think some of the coolest opening credits are in Terry Gilliam's film 12 Monkeys, where he uses Piazzolla's music. We also see parallels to Hitchcock's Vertigo, if you look at those opening title sequences, which is something we're going to be doing Monday, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So this tango music even works in a science fiction film. So that's a brief little history of Nuevo Tango and Astor Piazzolla, and a great melodic composer who Boulanger said, go with your gut, go with what you're good at, and practice. It's good once you know you're on the right path. Then you can conquer that path or be the best you can be on that path. So he knew that he was great at tango music, but he knew that he could really transcend just regular tango, cafe music into something that was complex yet very melodic and harmonically pleasing in a sense to even common ears and classical ears. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you danced a little in your seat. That's Astor Piazzolla. And tomorrow I have another surprise for you. So have a great rest of the day. Love you, miss you. I mean that. Love you and miss you. I do mean that. So, and I'll see you tomorrow.